Every year since 2004, the World Economic Forum has used the Global Competitiveness Index, GCI, to measure and determine the productivity and economic competitiveness of countries, regions, and cities. The GCI scores are calculated based on 12 pillars of competitiveness, including improved institutions, infrastructure, health, and primary education. In the last 5 years, Nigeria has not performed well, and the latest ranking has caused more than a few palpitations and drawn attention to some of the issues raised.
I'm actually a bit concerned that at the time when all the indices actually seem to be going well for Nigeria, you look at basically in terms of the economic indices for the country, as well as basically the growth rate, which even the World Economic Forum also confirmed. I actually expected to actually see a much improved position actually basically being presented for Nigeria.
What's been playing against Nigeria has been three things. One is infrastructure, poor infrastructure development. The second one is corruption. And the third one is access to finance.
Your institutions, you're not paying enough attention to them. You're not paying enough attention to health and primary education. You're not paying enough attention to political stability and these other things. Now, is that a perception issue or is it reality? I would like to suggest that a lot of these indicators under these areas are the reality. That is how it is.
But the National Competitiveness Council of Nigeria says the report is based on indicators that do not reflect the present or near future, including the rebasing of the economy and much lower poverty levels than projected, stressing that Nigeria's security position, which was one of the major negative factors in the ranking, was not as bad as some other countries which were rated better than Nigeria. Some say otherwise.
If you say Nigeria has grown year on year at more than 6% for the last 10 years, for the last how many years? So does that make us more competitive when the growth has not been inclusive?
If we do not also pay very serious attention to the drivers of the economy, particularly the drivers of business, of business growth, our business performance, we're likely not to go too far, even with the big size of the economy.
Despite this ranking, foreign investment inflow is expected to grow.
Capital looks for profit, and the rate of return on capital in Nigeria is very high. It's quite high. So if a typical investor, while noting this thing, still think that at the end of the day, he could still have a good return on his capital, he can still come in.
There's also a more positive side to this.
There's so much that's been done in the financial side of things, and I think that the momentum has been there, and it is likely going to continue. On the labor side of things, I think a whole lot has to be done. Yes, we have this improvement, because it's exactly what is working against South Africa. If you look at the key factor that is depressing South Africa's social performance is restrictions on labor. We have that advantage. They don't have it.
I believe that as a country, we've actually made efforts over the last few years, but I think we need to demonstrate a greater commitment to basically showing the rest of the world that Nigeria is actually open for business, and our commitment to actually creating a more robust platform for doing business is actually not without doubt.
Nigeria has definitely got an advantage over most of these African countries ranked, and it is important that this is played off, while ongoing reforms in some parameters highlighted that hamper the global competitiveness ranking of the country, including improved institutions and infrastructure, continue. Harriet Agbenyi, reporting for Channels Television News.